Okay, I noticed some persons don't really know how to make use of their PSD files. Okay, the essence of you having PSD files is for you to easily know tricks and some effects that are being used on images and how to actually improve on your designs. Having PSD files will help you a great deal in terms of you improving on the way you design. Okay, there is no point you changing the way a test looks. Okay, and you don't understand how the test was being created. Just imagine um, you wanting to make use of this PSD file you see on your screen. Okay, and you go ahead and of course change your text. When I mean the text is you changing crystal here to maybe a pendant. Okay, and you changing death to life. Now, why changing the font style when you're modeling after this PSD file? It doesn't make sense. Okay, let me try and do something so you understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's say where is it now? Pendant. Okay, so that's what you have there. It's pendant. Okay, now you're changing date to life. All right. Of course, the effect is on this layer here. Okay, I really don't want to change that, but I believe you should know how these things have already been done. I've done lots of these. Okay, now you having like this, um, it does the text is not well aligned. Okay, so what do you actually do? You increase the size of life. See that, and then bring a peanut up and reduce the size. Doesn't this look good to you? Of course it does. All right. Now take for instance. Let me see. Let me show you the mistake that most of you are making. Now let's uh let's go back to the original design. All right. Now from here now, this is what most persons are not doing. You now change this life to another font. So we'll now change it to a script font. This is what some persons are not doing. This This is not it. This is not how to model after a PSD file. Modeling after a PSD file is you returning the way the tests are being arranged. You know, what you could just do is probably increase the font size or decrease the font size in order for the text to align. Just what I showed you earlier. Now, that being said, you need to learn or to know how these things are being created. How do you do that? You have to go through each layers. All right. Now let's go back to our original design. Okay. All right, so these are our design. Now what do you do? Let's start with the test first. Okay, you see that here, this is a texture file. Okay, and this texture file, let's take it to its normal um, nature. All right, you can see how it is now, but the the blending mode was changed to vivid light. That's why you see that it's not like this. That's why you see these effects on this depth layer. Okay, depth test layer. Now taking a look at um, the crystal, most of the time you can do this like the you can even do this saying when you create something else, what you just need to do is import uh, the or export from a PSD file. Probably you want to use you want something like this on another design you're creating. Okay, you can just export this, drag it into that layer, and do the same thing. Okay, how was this done? Let's look at the mask. Let's remove the mask. Okay, see, this is actually the layer without it been maxed out on the depth layer. Okay, this is the texture. You can see how the texture is now. So how do you actually do it? You hold down your control key and click on the depth test. All right, see, and you can see that selection. What you need to do now is just mask, and that is it. All right, and now you go to your crystal layer and you see the different um, layer styling that was applied to achieve what is here. Okay, if we take out the effects, you see how plain the text looks. Now what do? You go through these layers, this styling, and see what is actually being done there. You know, certain what is actually being done there, the distance, the size, the you can see that a blending modes applied and all that, gradients. Take a look at it and you check out how this silver effect was achieved. You can see it right here, gray, white, gray, white, gray. These are things you should be doing in order to improve on your designs. Okay, and that being said, I think we've concluded on the test now. Okay, now let's look at the image. Now this is actually now this is the original image. Okay, the lady holding an apple, a white apple. The person said he needed something with a glow, it's kind of a magical stuff and all that. So I had to manipulate this. Now the first step in manipulating this, it was me removing that strand from the what is it called now, apple. All right, you can see the change there. Okay, so you can see, all right, see what was done there. Now after which I created this hue and saturation. All right, but the glow wasn't as you can see here, the glow was not really that prominent. So I started applying layers of colors. Okay, and this is one. You can see the blending style, luminosity, and I had another one. You can see it's normal. Okay, and then I still had another one here. Okay, this is filter. Okay, selective color, you can see right there. Hmm? uh, Photo filter, you can see it there. Now another layer of this layer is white. Okay, or as being used here is still yellow but almost white. Okay, and you can see the effect there was screen. Okay, and then this layer also, which is also screen. So these are things you have to, go through and see how a design is being achieved. Okay, now there is another layer, I think. Okay, not that. This layer here, you can see what happened now. Now this layer is, I call it the shadow or a shade. Okay, to kind of darken an image and all that. So you can see what was done here is basically creating a layer, and using your brush, brushing through the sides and all that, then reducing the opacity as the case may be. Okay, it's not every time that you might probably need to reduce the opacity and all that. So that's it for this PSD file. I just want us to look through some PSD files and all that. Okay, so you see this now. um you can see different layers and all that. Let's see this. Now you see that this, you can see what was done here, and I had to uh, cut these out, right? And I added blending. I used the blending mode. Okay, after cutting it out, I I I copied it. Okay, and I changed the blending option of the other layer, the copied layer, to multiply, as like what you see here now. We will take it to normal. You see how it's going to look. You see, so using normal, it won't really fit well into the design. Okay, now most of the times you just have to start playing with your blending options and see what looks best. Okay, you will definitely find what will work best for your designs. Okay, so I think that's that for that's that work. And okay, the gene here, you can see what was done here. Look, it without the effects and it with the effects. You can see that I applied gradients, okay, at the bottom of this test, right? And then this glows and all that. You can check them out. You can see how I reduced the opacity, the gradients overlay that I used, the outer glow, how I actually did it. Yeah, you can see that I made it screen and all that. Then drop shadow, what I actually did, I increased the size, I reduced the spreading, the distance and all that. So these are some of the things you have to look at to know how a design is created. Take for instance, this group of persons you see there, it's not really, it's not all that you see is not a whole image. This includes different images. So you have to find out what is being done. Most of the time, what you don't need to do, you need to do to see what was actually done is you just like for instance this image now, you hold down your shift key and click on it. Now you see the whole image. This is actually the whole image. Okay, and that is it. This is how you should look at your PSD files and start working with them. All right, and not just going there importing images and changing text however you like. It really help you improving on your designs. Take for instance, you are modeling after this design. I've said before, there is no point you changing the font styles of this design. Model this font size. Probably you want to make use of a text that is larger than this. Then this one, this that okay, fonts that probably the text are more than what is here. It might not really work very well. Then what do you need? What do you do? You use. There are lots of PSD files. You look through them and see what will actually fit the number of text, the text size which you have, the number of text which you have that will actually work best for it and model after that particular PSD file. I believe with all these that I have talked about now, you should be able to, you know, work on your designs. All right, should be able to work on your designs. Go through the different layers and see what is actually being done. Okay, go through the layers. Something is being done. What you're saying was not just created, and go through the the layers and see the blending options that we applied and all that. These are things that you need to do that will actually help you to improve on the way you design. Okay, so that is it. Like this man now, let me take over this. See, I had to make it look like someone with gray hairs and all that to add a little bit of maturity. Okay, you can see the difference there. You can see what is being done there. Okay, like he has gray hairs and all that. You can see the effect, what is being done there. These are things you have to learn and all go through to actually know or improve on what you are doing. Okay, that is just it. Okay, I believe with all these that I've talked about now, you should be able to work on designs and start improving on your designs. Okay, so I will stop this video here.